what can you do in Europe? Europe is more than the sum of its parts. It is a space in which you may choose to study, work, and finally spend your life. Hey, nobody is telling you that you have to choose Europe. But you must know that Europe is an option. It is a chance that exists behind the borders of your country, and this regardless of where you live right now. In other words, you can continue to live where you are right now, but you can also take a different route, working in Europe and perhaps for Europe. In this brief video, we want to inspire you. We want to present you to some people who chose Europe as their home. They left their country and embraced a European life. We have asked each of them the following question: what do you do in Europe? We met a blogger, a journalist, a civil servant, an NGO activist, a professional lobbyist, and many other actors who play the European game. Each of them has a story to tell. Stay tuned.
I'm French.
I'm half English and half Italian.
I'm Irish.
I was born in the United States. I'm also an Irish citizen.
I'm a German lawyer.
I'm Belgian.
I'm Hungarian.
I'm originally from the UK. I've lived in France, Hungary, and I now run an NGO called Access Info Europe, based in Madrid, in Spain.
I'm working for the Greens EFA in the Environment Committee of the European Parliament. Well, my job is to green European legislation to make sure that we have an adequate level of protection of human health.
I work as a communications consultant. I write a blog about the European Union. That's just under my own name, so www.johnworth.eu.
I started working in a law firm advising banks on EU banking regulations. Now, basically, I'm in a bank, and at the moment I'm covering their European business. So I take care that the bank is complying with all the regulations.
I'm a policy director and the co-founder of an organization called VoteWatchEurope. We are watching the votes of the representatives of the citizens of the European Union.
My work as a researcher in pharmaceutical regulation is to investigate the relation between European regulations and national regulation, especially the French one and the Italian one.
The European Ombudsman deals with complaints from European citizens and residents concerning maladministration by EU institutions, bodies, offices and agencies.
I'm the CEO of an organization called Client Earth.
5.5 years now that I work as a lawyer linguist in the legal service of the council.
So, I'm Robert Madelin, and here in Brussels I manage research in information technologies and think more broadly about the digital revolution and what that can do for Europe.
I'm representing the European Commission in France, on the whole territory of France, which means I'm mainly there to listen to citizens, to politicians, to the press, and try to also explain European policies.
What I currently do is essentially two major things. One is dealing with the recruitment angle for people who want to enter the institutions, because I have a book and website that helps people pass the recruitment exams. The other aspect or angle that I do is training people on EU affairs and explaining how EU institutions work and how to work with these institutions in a practical and understandable manner.
Hi, my name is Ronny Patz. I work for the Transparent International EU office in Brussels. I'm German, more precisely I'm East German, so I was born behind the wall, although I'm quite young. And over the past years I've been active in European politics as a student activist, as a blogger, and some years ago I joined Transparent International as a volunteer, and today I work with them as an employee in Brussels.
I work for the European Commission, where I am in charge of the Transparency Unit, which deals with all the issues connecting to the information provided to citizens about how decisions are being prepared, made, who is participating in the process, and the possibility for people to have access to information and documents.
That's the main way I'm involved in European Union politics, is explaining to people how Brussels works and how the political game works here in this city. My academic background is in European Union affairs. My undergraduate degree is in political science in the UK, and have a master's in European politics from the College of Europe in Bruges as well. And then professionally, I work as a communications consultant, helping European Union institutions to better communicate, and also helping different organisations and campaigns in Brussels to find their place online in the European Union political debate.
je me contente de rapporter ce qui se passe au niveau européen et d'expliquer à mes lecteurs comment fonctionne l'Europe. Donc il y a une dimension de reportage, effectivement, donc rapporter ce qui se passe à Bruxelles, mais il y a une dimension aussi très forte d'explication, de pédagogie.
We're involved in, first of all, helping with the drafting of legislation. Sometimes it's difficult to come to an agreement. Different member states have different positions, and sometimes finding just the right wording is crucial because it might work for everybody. Sometimes we're faced with what we call constructive ambiguity. In other words, it goes against our very principles as lawyers to have vague laws, but sometimes when you're trying to get 27, 28 member states together, that's the price to pay. You have to accept a very strangely convoluted, unclear wording if that means that each member state can interpret it the way it wants to.
Client Earth is a unique organization in Europe in that we're a group of environmental lawyers, and we've organized ourselves as a charity, and we work on really all stages of the life cycle of a law, from beginning with the science, as an environmental lawyer always has to do, to creating policy, to then working in the Brussels Parliament to get laws passed, then implementing and enforcing them.
We work to promote and protect the fundamental right of access to information. So essentially what we do is help people get information in order to have an opinion about what's going on in our societies, and in order to be able to express that opinion, to engage in public debate, with the idea that the more debate there is around issues of public importance, public concern, the better solutions that we will find.